Going on, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB. Try to make this a little. It's kind of. I don't know. Do I have to duck down? It's usually not this low. Maybe I should. Should I prop this up on something? Here, let me try to. Oh. Let's try to prop this up. Maybe that's better. Oh. Maybe not. Maybe this won't work. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. This is a disaster, isn't it? Hey, Ty. There's Ty. All right. Just figuring out some technical difficulties. I guess that's fine. Yeah, let's. You just got back from seeing X. I want to see X. I'm very curious about X. I've heard some reviews being decent. I saw that Chris Stuckman did a review for it. Oh. And so, yeah, I was hoping that it would be streaming somewhere, but apparently I need to go to the theater to see it. Apparently that's the only way to see it. So we might end up doing that, actually. Maybe this week, sometime this week. And also, I need to watch The Adam Project, that Ryan Reynolds Netflix movie. I need to watch that, maybe review that. But we need to get ready for... This is what this live stream is all about. X2. Oh, well, maybe I should... All right, X2, X-Men United. We can debate that this is... Was it best horror of the year thus far for you? Really? Well, it's only March. How many horror movies have been out this year? You're saying it's better than Scream? Because I like Scream. Scream 5. Let's put the headphones in so that we don't get hit with copyright, right? That's always an issue nowadays. Shit, what happened to my headphone plug? No! Oh, it's always an issue, right? It's always something. Okay. Alright, 1 second. Oh. You thought it was better than Scream? Alright, well, that's pretty high praise. You're gonna make me more interested to see X. It's just called X. I did see the trailer for X. Da, da, da. I don't want to do any more of the score in case I get hit with copyright. We're going to set up the subtitles. English for the deaf and hard of hearing. Well, that's not why I'm doing it, but... Scream 5 made me mad with some of the choices they made with some characters. I have not started yet. I was setting up the subtitles. I forgot that this is on Disney Plus. Because I own the Blu-ray, I wasn't even thinking about that. I just Okay, so I'm going to press I'm not going to start the movie just yet. I'm going to get it queued up to pause. Kurt Wagner. I can't wait for the opening scene with Nightcrawler. Oh, this is going to be so good. I love this movie. I do. This might be my favorite X-Men movie. I say might. For so many years, it was my favorite X-Men movie. Nice shirt. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me see if I can get... Okay, I paused it at 0.01, which I think is 1 second in. I love how it just says X2. Very interesting title, right? X2, X-Men United. It's not called X-Men 2 United, or it's just X2, X-Men United. I like that. But yeah, for so many years, this was my favorite X-Men movie. And the only thing that rivals this for being my favorite X-Men movie is Days of Future Past. I'm not even saying Days of Future Past is 100% my favorite, but it's definitely, depending on my mood, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on which one I watch, probably, right? I'll probably watch this movie now and I'll be like, yes, no doubt, this is my favorite. And then watch Days of Future Past and I'll be like, fuck, man, this is so good. That's a good problem to have when it comes, especially this franchise. This franchise is riddled. So many bad installments in the franchise, the X-Men franchise. It sucks, though, because Fox, it's like there's some things that they did great with the X-Men, in my opinion, and then there's some things that they fumbled the ball so many times that it sucks. And it's one of the originators, of course, it's not the first Marvel movie, but a lot of people credit this as one of the big Marvel movies. So I think we're just going to get started. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to rumble? X2. Trying to think of when the last time I've watched this. We are going to press play in 3, 2, 1. Is it playing? Play. Okay, here we go. 3 seconds in. 4 seconds in. Just in case. We got the Fox logo. I guess we're not getting this anymore? Right? The Fox logo? Let's go! I love how there's the Marvel logo. I don't think the first X-Men movie had this Marvel logo, right? I don't think so. Shit, I should have kept track of that in the first commentary. But I like what they did later on in the later X-Men movies when the Fox intro for a split second highlighted the X in Fox, and then the trumpet theme at the very end goes da-da-da. They should have done that from the beginning, but I love that they did it at all. We got Patrick Stewart narrating. It's not an X-Men movie unless Patrick Stewart is narrating. I know James McAvoy does it later, but... And can we talk about this score? The first X-Men movie did not have this score, because the first X-Men movie was scored by somebody else. Da, 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 da. John Ottman. I wanted to make sure I remembered his name. John Ottman does the score for this. And he does arguably the best X-Men theme outside of the 90s theme, of course. The only thing that would be better than them keeping this theme, if MCU does X-Men movies, is if the MCU redoes the 90s X-Men score. Right? If they take that theme song and turn it into an orchestral score. Kind of like what they did with Spider-Man. The MCU Spider-Man theme is the old show, but turned into a score. If they did that with the X-Men, da-na-na-na, but like as a score, what would that even sound like? All right, here we go. The White House. And there's a man with a trench coat. You know that's not good. It's either Nightcrawler or it's somebody about to flash kids. Oh no. And there's the president. Is that supposed to be Bush? Wait, no. Who was the president in 2003? It was Bush. Yeah, Bush had 2 terms. And there he is. You see his tail. Great score. Epic sounding music. I remember the first time I saw this, I said, "Holy shit!" Especially because I was very young at the time. I was very young, so I remember thinking like, "Fuck, they did it." The first movie was good, but it was like this movie, they clearly are stepping up their game. Just effects wise, I think the way how they use the X-Men is better in this movie. Although I have some issues, even though it's maybe my favorite one, I have some issues with the way some people are used. Bryan Singer and John Ottman had a long working relationship before this and worked together after. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I did not know that. Nightcrawler's going fucking nuts. And I don't even think I ever realized why was he attacking the White House. I don't like the first time I saw it, I didn't think about it. I just thought, holy shit, this looks cool. You're seeing him fucking transform all over the place. It wasn't until later where you go like, oh yeah, he's acting like a bad guy here. That's not right. Well, of course, he's being controlled by Stryker. Stryker! John Ottman did the score for The Usual Suspects. Okay, I've never seen The Usual Suspects. I want to watch it, but the ending was spoiled for me, right? I know it's Kevin Spacey, so it's like, can I watch the movie and not and still enjoy it? Is the twist the best part of that movie? I don't know. I guess I should watch it and find out, right? There's Nightcrawler looking looking evil as fuck. He's about to kill the president. Damn, dude, he only shot him in the arm? I mean, granted, the guy was hurt. At least he shot him at all, right? Mutant freedom, now! Great intro. Great intro. It's definitely like a what the fuck is going on. I mean, at first you think that Nightcrawler's a bad guy now, right? You think that he's possibly evil now. Superman Returns, okay, well, I will be honest. I don't know. I don't remember the score for Superman Returns because all I remember is the fact that they reused the John Williams theme, you know? So, maybe the score is good, the original score, but I only remember the John Williams theme in Superman Returns. That's the only thing that stands out to me in that movie. There is Logan, Wolverine. He definitely was going to kill him. Oh, absolutely, he was about to kill him. So there is Logan. Professor X sent Logan to go possibly find his past, right? He told him to go to Alkali Lake and he would maybe find answers. You could argue that maybe Xavier should have just told him, right? If Xavier can go into his mind and see shit, but maybe he thought Wolverine needed to see it himself. I don't know. Hugh Jackman, his hair is on point. It's fucking, they went all out with his hair. Compare his hair from the first movie to his hair now. There it is, Alkali Lake. We're going to get bits of his origin. See, this movie is prime example of why we did not. Right. I watched this with the commentary years ago. And I remember hearing them talk about the fact that there's a scene later on, I think it's near the end of the movie, where his hair is even bigger because they had to reshoot, and so he was wearing an even bigger wig. They had to quickly make a wig for him. Hey, Storm's talking, and she doesn't have her accent anymore. As much as it does not, and there's his weird tongue. Yeah, there you go. Um, Sabretooth cat. Is that a reference to Sabretooth? Even though Sabretooth was in the last movie? I guess they just wanted to show that name there. I almost forget. The first movie only really focused and showcased the teenage kids. I forget that apparently really young kids are at the school too. Like they're taking young kids on a field trip to the museum, and it's like Jean Grey is wigging out. She heard Wolverine's voice. Her accent was done away with in this. Yeah, her hair is Storm's hair is better. Jean, I mean, I guess I don't mind the short haircut. I don't love it though. I prefer her hair longer. But whatever. What's weirder is that Jean Grey dies at the end of this movie with her haircut like this, and then when she comes back in X3 as the Dark Phoenix, her hair's long. It's like, is it because she's the Dark Phoenix that her hair grew longer, or what? Okay, so so she has. Yeah, I wish Jean kept the long hair too. Storm's hair does look better. It doesn't look great, but it looks better than the first movie. And even though I don't love the continuity error, I guess, of Holly Berry not doing the accent anymore, it's much better. Like, if you're going to have Holly Berry do this role, she can't do an accent. She can't. Pyro has been recasted. There is this. Is this dude checking out Rogue? Looking down her shirt? Perv? So these are just random kids who are fucking with them? Like, when I say kids, I mean they look like fucking adults. Oh shit. What the fuck? Now this is awesome. Professor Xavier freezing everybody. I don't know exactly how this works. Like, it's not as if Xavier can freeze time, right? He's not Quicksilver where he can like slow everything down around him. And he's only slowing everyone other than the mutants. Um, I never really understood how Xavier could do this. It's very cool that he can do it. I just don't really know what he does, right? Like, I like that line. Next time you feel like showing off, don't. That's cool. The guy just like a statue. And uh, oh, you're talking about the actor that plays Pyro? I do remember him in The Hills Have Eyes. He's the main dude, right? Whose baby gets kidnapped and he has to fucking go get it. And then they just leave. They leave and nobody knows what the fuck happened. And presumably nobody's gonna believe them, right? They're, Xavier is great, or is GOAT. And doesn't it make you wonder though if Xavier can freeze the room or can put people in a temporary frozen state? Why doesn't he do that more often? I mean, he does it at the end of this movie, of course, in the White House. But it feels like there's other situations where they could have used that, right? Like when they get attacked later. Did I know that they put the Netflix shows on Disney Plus? Absolutely, I knew that. I was going crazy 2 days ago, just going through Disney Plus. I haven't started watching any of them because I've already watched most of those shows, but I just was sort of like going through. You have to change your parental controls, and then the Registration Act. So they're talking about that. Senator Kelly, who should be dead. We know that it's Mystique, or we will find out. Actually, at the end of the last movie, we saw Mystique pretend to be him. Okay, Lady Deathstrike cracking her knuckles is very unnerving. Moon Knight looks fantastic. I can't wait to see Moon Knight. When does that start? When does Moon Knight start? Is that like this week or next week? Do we know the date of Moon Knight? Okay, so that's what Mystique wants. March 31st. Oh, so it's... We still have a little while away. All right. Still, I can't wait for it. Looking forward to it. Is Kelly dead? Yeah, well, yeah, Senator Kelly is dead, but that is Mystique pretending to be. Because Mystique is trying to find out where Magneto is. Trying to find out how to break Magneto out. So that's why you heard Senator Kelly say, you have Eric Lyncher? You have, like, trying to get more info on Magneto there. Now, I love the idea of Stryker sort of uncovering the X Mansion, raising doubts about it, questioning it. He is great as Senator Kelly. I agree. Very memorable for such a kind of a smaller part, but he does stand out in the first two movies, even though he's barely in this one, but still, it's like you remember him. Oh, while you were sucking on your mom's tit. What the fuck? You can say that in a PG-13 movie? And there's the eyes. Just in case you forgot, Ty. Senator Kelly has yellow eyes. He's Mystique. Uh-oh. Y'all gonna kiss? Y'all gonna kiss? I'm not afraid, because he's too goddamn horny for that. Hey, there's Colossus. Oh, shit. First time we see Colossus in the X-Men movie, and this actor plays Colossus, what, 3 times? Before he got recast in Deadpool? Wow. Wow. She left Bobby to be like, Logan! I'm her boyfriend. And I'm gonna freeze your fucking hand. How you guys fuck? You know that's what he's saying. I always said that Storm and Wolverine should have hooked up. How does Wolverine look at Halle Berry and not... Clearly Storm is single. Clearly Storm isn't in a... But Jean Grey is married, and of course that's who Wolverine's all over. Mind you. And I'm not saying he should go after Rogue, but clearly Rogue is into Wolverine too. She's going to Boston. She was so happy to see... Yeah, Rogue wants that Wolverine dick. Rogue definitely wants that Wolverine dick. The actor that plays Colossus is huge. He's at least 6'5", 5'7"? Is that really? It's a waste of time dating Rogue. Why? Because you can't fuck her? Because you can't kiss her? You can't touch her? I mean, that's kind of fucked up, but I understand that too. Aren't you going to welcome me home? Oh, right. He took his. Then fill her up. I love that. That was a good Cyclops moment. Too bad Cyclops does not have any good Cyclops moments at all in this movie. That might be the only one. And he said like three words. Then fill her up. Okay. My bad. 4 words. But I love this plastic prison. Bree said what? That it's a waste of time dating Rogue? I know technically Rogue is like 16 or 17 years old in this movie. I'm not saying Wolverine should date her. I'm just saying that clearly Rogue has a crush on Wolverine. Um, I'm actually glad they didn't even have him like acknowledge that, or right. He's either oblivious to it or he doesn't react to it, which is very good. Perfect way to play Wolverine. Yes, the plastic prison might be one of the greatest set pieces in comic book movie history. The idea of Magneto in a plastic prison, just this image. I don't know if they ever did this in the comics. I admit I don't know, but if they did, if this was never in the comics, this is a genius idea. Hell, if it was in the comics, then whoever thought of it in the comics, genius idea. Um, and seeing Stryker mind control Magneto there. Uh, how are they going to bring the X-Men into the MCU? That's a great question. That's the $1,000,000 question. There's so many different ways to do it. Whether you use the multiverse to bring them in, but if you brought them in, they would have to be this cast, right? And I don't. Clearly, Hugh Jackman's not coming back. Patrick Stewart's going to be in Doctor Strange. He's confirmed it. I mean, it's obviously his voice in the trailer, but Patrick Stewart himself said, "That's me." So I don't know if it's just going to be like a nice cameo, a nice nod, but that's the only time we see Patrick Stewart's Professor X in the MCU, and that they'll introduce a variant Professor X later. I like some people's theories over Scarlet Witch being the reason why mutants show up. I saw a video, I don't know where, I forget where, of somebody had a theory that Wanda, mutants have already been wiped out of the MCU. We just never knew it. We just never saw it, right? So before the first Avengers movies, Wanda already had her No More Mutants moment, and it will later be revealed that mutants had existed before, but nobody remembers mutants existing because it's already been wiped out of like existence. That would be fucking awesome if they did something like that. And then if somehow they were able to come back, um, it's a brilliant idea when Mystique injects metal particles into him. Oh, absolutely, great. We will get to that scene. Believe me. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Also, I love the idea of Cerebro, like just the way it looks. Um, for all of the things that people complain about with the Bryan Singer X-Men movies specifically, because there's a million things to complain about with Brett Ratner's movie and X-Men Origins Wolverine. There's a million stuff we could complain about, but the Bryan Singer movies, which are supposedly universally the best ones, I've seen some people complain that they don't like that these X-Men's are portrayed more realistic, more grounded, down to earth, as far as they don't wear costumes. We never see Hugh Jackman wear the classic yellow costume. You don't see any of them wear costumes until. And I'm not talking about the black leather outfits. You don't see them wear their colorful outfits till what? The last scene of Apocalypse, and then they don't even wear those outfits in Dark Phoenix. Um, First Class, I guess they do wear the blue and yellow outfits, but again, you don't get like Storm's white outfit. You don't get Wolverine's yellow outfit. You don't get Cyclops' blue outfit. You don't get a lot of that shit in these movies. And I think some people don't like that. Some people want a more comic booky X-Men. I will say this, the way that these movies, it wouldn't have worked in 2000 and 2003. No. Here's where Senator Kelly turns into, actually, yeah, right. She turns into Lady Deathstrike, right? Yep. Very cool. I don't know. Do we see Senator Kelly again? Was that the last time we see Senator Kelly? It might be. Um, Kelly Hugh, criminally underrated in this movie as well. By the way, I love her casting as Lady Deathstrike, but she barely fucking talks in this movie, and that's very upsetting. She gets a insanely badass fight scene with Wolverine later, but I just wish. And I know there's a lot of characters here. I know there's a lot of stuff to set up. I know there's a lot of stuff to juggle. I get it. That's a big reason. That's my biggest complaint with the X-Men movies, even the good ones. Yeah, Kelly Hugh was also on Arrow. Um, Timestamp? Oh. We are 24 minutes and 10 seconds in. Case people are wondering. Okay, so I think we did we already see Gambit's name there on the computer that she was looking up, or it said Remy LeBeau, right? It probably said a bunch of other names, but I remember specifically Remy LeBeau being there. How do they have the blueprints of Cerebro? So Mystique is seeing. Oh, so Mystique finds out that Stryker has rebuilt Cerebro. He rebuilt his own Cerebro. I wonder how he got. Oh, well, maybe he got that from talking to Magneto. He was able to find out what it looked like. You remember Kelly Hugh and the Scorpion King? The first. Oh yeah. She was in that, huh? Um, yeah. I assume Stryker found out what Cerebro was and what it looks like from going to Magneto, mind controlling him. Magneto probably told him everything, right? This is what it looks like. This is how it works. Blah blah blah, and he somehow recreated it. That does actually make sense. It's just I don't think I ever thought about that until right now. Garbage. Garbage. Okay, Kelly Hugh does talk. What are you doing in here? And then I believe these are two twins, which is how they pulled this scene off. Obviously, nowadays, it's easy to pull off the whole two. Boston! Represent! Hey now, double A. Huh. Where is this church? Do you think this is really in Boston? Because I don't recognize this church. Although I can't tell you, I've been to a lot of churches in Boston. Not the biggest church person. But yeah, very cool. Very cool to see the X-Men, even if it's just two of them in Boston. Now it's a party. um. Oh, there's Nightcrawler. I very much like how Nightcrawler was used in this movie. The makeup looks great. Um, I think Alan Cummings is great as Nightcrawler. It's too bad. Somebody in the last stream told me that he didn't want to come back for X-Men 3 because of the makeup process. He hated it. Which, don't get me wrong, I understand. I can imagine how annoying it is. I can only imagine how annoying it is, but it's like he was so good that it sucks. He only played this role once, but yet we all remember this. We all remember him as Nightcrawler so much off of one movie, one performance. There's been so many X-Men, so many different mutants we've seen, and yet he stands out as Kurt Wagner. Didn't it take Mystique 2 hours for makeup? Was it only 2 hours? That's really? Are you sure? That's pretty short, if that's true. And hell, even if it was 2 hours, like for Nightcrawler, maybe he didn't like that. Not everybody is okay with sitting there being patient or being still for 2 hours. I would probably do it with the amount of money they probably. I don't know how much he got paid, but oh, you're guessing? Oh. No, I mean, I think it was a little longer than that. And to be honest, because I did watch some behind the scenes videos of Rebecca Romijn putting makeup on. Yeah, Alan Cumming had to do it a lot longer, right? Because his blue makeup is very different from Mystique. I watched a video with Rebecca Romijn getting her makeup put on, and most of her makeup is like these weird blue gel that they put over her, obviously her main body parts to cover her areas, but also even like her knees and her, like they place like suction gel things on her. And then the rest of her skin, they kind of like just paint blue. Whereas he not only is painted blue, prosthetics or gel, there you go. Whereas he's not only colored blue, but you see that they have those intricate designs, those lines all over his skin. And so that's detail that probably takes a long ass time. I would imagine that his makeup probably took between 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. I'm just guessing. He also has to wear those like hand things to make his hands look all weird. His feet too, right? Like I don't know. This kid's ability is that he can change the channel without a remote, and he doesn't sleep. I would hate that, because if he doesn't need to sleep, he's still he's still pushing out like energy to be awake, right? So he must be always like drowsy, right? Like he's just sitting there like, I don't sleep. It's like, you might not get tired, or sleepy, but you have to still feel exhausted, right? 8 hours. Right, that's the thing. Yeah. So let's say it's 8 hours for him to do that. That's 8 hours of just getting in makeup. Then you have to act. And who knows how many hours that is. And for him to be on the same schedule, like acting hours as everyone else, he probably had to get up early. He probably had to go to the set to get the makeup on at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to be ready for shooting at like 9, 10 a.m. Right? I mean, it's insane. Is 2K32 fixed? I don't have 2K32. Do you mean 2K22? No, it has not been patched yet. I was playing it a little bit on Twitch before this, and shockingly, it didn't crash. But I only played for like an hour, and I didn't do a lot. I was only doing my rise. I love the fact that Xavier goes to visit Magneto. I mean, I know he's asking him specifically about the White House attack, but and I also love that Xavier can tell that something is wrong with him. I love. Although his face is kind of bruised up, so maybe that's what he was reacting to. I thought he could tell from his eyes that like he wasn't really himself. His father. Oh, you're talking about Stryker's son. Right, right, right. Xavier couldn't help Stryker's son, and that's why Stryker has hates the mutants, right? Right, something like that. Or no, Stryker hates the mutants because his son killed his wife, right? And so he just resents all mutants. Stryker is actually a really compelling character, especially for a human. But Brian Cox is easily the best actor to play Stryker. Um, right. Oh, I like the moment we missed it, but oh shit. he just brought up him looking at. He just brought up that he knows he looks at Jean Grey. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, Magneto looks terrible. Like his eyes look. He could tell he looks like he's been beaten up or this. What have you done? Oh, I love this. And Magneto actually feels bad. I couldn't help it. I love everything. Everything. I love that even though Magneto was the villain in the first movie, I love that Magneto is usually the villain. The war has begun. Ian McKellen's delivery is so fucking good. You should have killed me when you had the chance! I love that line! That's my favorite line in any X-Men movie. You should have killed me when you had the chance. Hey, look at Cyclops kicking some ass. One kick knocks him out? Come the fuck on, Cyclops. I remember watching, I don't know if it was the behind the scenes making of or if it was the commentary. It could have been both. But I remember James Marsden talked about that scene and he said, wow, like I get taken out that quick. And so he asked Bryan Singer, because all Cyclops ever does, at least that's how James Marsden felt, all he ever does is he just does his lasers, boom, boom, boom. He wanted to get more physical. So he asked if he could do that little quick bit part where he punches out the two guards, just because he wanted to be able to do something other than, you know, um, than the lasers. So it was cool to see him fight a little bit, but man, they should have given him a fight with Deathstrike. I know they want to either make Deathstrike look very imposing, look very strong, but you could have had a moment when, yes, Brian Cox is better than Danny Huston. Yes, better than Danny Huston, and better than whoever the actor was that played Stryker in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. I don't know that actor's name, but I always thought he looked like Stifler. Um, you picked the wrong house, bub. And this mutant can scream very loud. I love this scene, by the way. The X Mansion being swarmed on, and Wolverine just about to wreck shit. Yeah, Wolverine said, bub. He said, you picked the wrong house, bub. Woohoo! Hugh Jackman's roar after cutting into that soldier's chest. Holy shit! That's the most Wolverine moment that we've gotten out of the first two movies. Just the rage and anger. Fuck, Hugh Jackman's so good, man. So good. Yeah, all of this. All of Wolverine taking out these military guys or soldiers or SWAT, whatever the fuck they are. Oh, there's Colossus. Okay, his hair doesn't turn metal either. It's just the skin. Bam! I love that they're shooting Wolverine with um with fucking darts and it's doing nothing to him. He's just fucking taking it. First time that Colossus appears in metal form. Nice. I did okay, so he's feeling a little, but he never passes out, right? He never passes out. But he did react to it slightly. This is such a great scene. This is the mansion being under attack is such a cool idea too, you know. Um, and the idea that it's in the middle of the night, they were defenseless, they weren't prepared, completely caught off guard. He never passes out. I love seeing Wolverine carrying a child. I love that. Colossus says, "I can help you." Wolverine says, "No, help them. Be there for them." It's such a quick moment, but good shit, man. Oh, right into the guy's foot. Because I remember in the 90s animated show, they could never show Wolverine attack humans with his claws, so he only would attack robots and shit. Was that Colossus supposed to come back in Dark Phoenix, really? Yeah, Colossus is definitely tall as shit. Um, I heard that Colossus, they asked him to come to be in Deadpool, but he didn't want to do it because they told him that he was going to be metal the entire time. That he would never look human. And I guess the actor didn't like that. He didn't want to just be metal. So they recasted him. And I gotta be honest, as decent, I will say he's decent, this guy who plays Colossus. Hugh Jackman just taking out 4 SWAT guys easily, jumping off the fucking balcony there. Good shit. Um, so he turned down being in Deadpool, which was a huge mistake because I feel like whoever they got for Deadpool to play Colossus, he was amazing. And now I prefer the Colossus from Deadpool. Probably one of the best Marvel sequels. What, X-Men 2? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Absolutely. This movie still holds up. I love this scene. Wolverine not recognizing Stryker. And Stryker's telling him, "I know who you are," but he can handle himself. Pyro's such a dick. And you know what? If Bobby didn't have that moment with Logan in the kitchen before this, Bobby probably wouldn't have gone back to help him, right? But it was that bonding moment that they had that made Bobby come back. So they set that up very well. Um, his name is Daniel Cudmore, and he made a huge mistake not appearing in Deadpool. Yeah, huge mistake. Because he doesn't get a lot to do in these X-Men movies. If he was in Deadpool, people would probably be like, "Oh, okay, I know Colossus now," or I like have an understanding of the character. I just feel like the version of Colossus that's in Deadpool, the Russian accent, him being even bigger in Deadpool, I just prefer that. I love Bobby making an ice wall to separate them. That's a great image. Great image. Yeah, like Stryker putting his hand up to the thing and Wolverine sort of just great moment. And then blowing up the ice, very cool. That's You can tell that's practical. The ice wall is fantastic. Absolutely. But yeah, like, this movie is proof that you never needed to do an X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. Or you never needed to do a Wolverine movie that was about Weapon X, right? Or that was about his procedure. We see enough of it here. Even though it's in flashback, even though, you know, like, you didn't need to see everything. I feel like what we saw in this movie, um, I can't remember. I love that. Um, but what we get of Wolverine's origin in this movie through flashback is more than enough. Oh, she gives him back the dog tags. Awesome. I almost forgot that he gave that to her. But the plan was that, and then Bobby doesn't like that. Bobby saw that and was like, no. They just put on, was that In Sync? Bye, bye, bye. That's the only thing that dates this movie. Is playing music from 2000, whatever that song was. Boston. Bobby's from Boston. Well, there you go. I knew I liked Bobby for a reason. Oh, yeah, Wolverine using the one claw to... I wonder if that's the same one claw that he gave Cyclops the finger. The one claw finger in the first movie. Um, they did take 6 mutants. Okay, I forgot that. I mean, I know that there was the one little boy that Wolverine saves at the end. He's carrying the little boy. I remember that, but I don't remember. They're probably just all kids, right? Random kids. They're opening Cerebro. First time I saw this, I remember I felt very anxious seeing people break into the mansion, break into Cerebro, and like infiltrate this place. I didn't like it, but like in a good way, right? Like it cemented Stryker as a top tier real threat of a villain. So I felt anxious, but in a good way. Like, they did their job of making me uh, scared of this guy. Imagine, like, a human being one of the biggest threats to mutants or to the X-Men. Hey, Dr. Hank McCoy, and he's human. Who the hell was that actor? So that was supposed to be Beast as a human? Um, I don't know how I feel about that, because that doesn't match with how long Beast said he was human or Beast said he was a mutant in the third movie. This makes it seem like he becomes Beast soon. One of the few times we see Rebecca Romaine as herself. I love how her dress, though, looks like Mystique's skin. Very cool touch. Bottoms up. And she drugged him. She roofied him. She's gonna stick his ass with metal. And then her dress turns into her skin. Oh, that's so freaky. CGI looks decent there. For 2003, that CGI transformation was not terrible. I would expect it to be a lot worse. I remember CGI in Daredevil, which was like, what, 2004, right? Um, being really bad. And like CGI around this time, the Hulk, was that 2003? That CGI didn't look good. That CGI wasn't bad. Rebecca Romijn, yes, that was Mystique. That's what the actress that plays Mystique really looks like in real life. That was Rebecca Romijn, yes. Yes, it was. Very attractive, Rebecca Romijn. I remember for the longest time, because she was married to... Was Daredevil 2003? I must be thinking of the director's cut that came out in 2004. That's probably what I'm thinking of. Because I own the director's cut on DVD of Daredevil. And I think that says... Oh, here we go. Oh, God. So the wife killed herself to stop the son from putting images in her head. Oh, that's even fucking worse, man. Right. She was married to John Stamos. She was Rebecca Romijn Stamos. I remember having a hard time not calling her Rebecca Romijn Stamos because that's how I was introduced to her. So there's the moment when you realize that he's controlling Lady Deathstrike. So the real Lady Deathstrike may or may not be a bad person. John Stamos, yes, Uncle Jesse, of course. Who doesn't know John Stamos? Again, a subtle moment, but the realization that Lady Deathstrike is not in her own control, she's not willingly with Stryker, is actually disturbing, especially when you get to the end of the movie and Wolverine kills her when he sticks her with adamantium, and her eyes like officially go back to her. So for like a second before she dies, she becomes herself again. And it's like, fuck, like we could have saved her. You know what I mean? Like we could have knocked her out until it wore off. And like maybe she's a good person. We don't know. If we got more of Lady Deathstrike, then I think that would be even more tragic when you think about it. I always thought this actor that played Stryker's son looked so fucking creepy. Like, creeped me out severely. And to think that there's a mutant who can out mind trick Xavier. I don't want to say that he's more powerful than Xavier, but because Xavier does try to fight his mind images. I bet you they didn't even shoot this in Boston. I'm all getting excited that they're in Boston, but they're probably not even really in Boston. I definitely would have liked more Lady Deathstrike. I love the cell phone and Wolverine not knowing how to use it. It's a pretty cool cell phone, though. It's actually smart to make the cell phone look like that, look very trippy, and not have it be a flip phone, which I'm sure was the cell phones around this time, because you don't date the movie. Yes, the NSYNC song dates the movie, but the design of that cell phone looks futuristic or different enough to where you can't really tell what year it is. They're in Vancouver. Well, that makes everything's in fucking Vancouver. Everybody uses Vancouver to be everything, right? Oh, he's gonna give her gloves to wear. I like that she kept the white in her hair. Oh, he's trying to kiss her. Whoa. And then she blows out the ice. That's very cool. Very cool. So this is the first time they kiss, right? And of course he's like, I want some more. I want some more. Oh, uh-oh. Woo! Now he knows how intense it is. Is it worth it? You gotta time it. Time how many seconds you can kiss before it starts to kill you. And then you can, every single time you want to kiss, you can be like, all right, we're gonna time it. Like we have 3 seconds, 4 seconds to kiss before you start to kill me. It's definitely not worth it. I don't know. Anna Paquin's attractive. I mean, when I think of Anna Paquin, I think more of her in True Blood. And in True Blood, she was very sexual. True Blood, she had a lot of sex scenes. So I think that's makes me think like, man, she's a little freak. Anna Paquin. It is Bobby's parents and his younger bastard brother. I love this. I love this setup. You know, you have they've detected. uh I thought they detected the metal in him, but I guess not. I wonder what happened there. Or like it almost detected it, but then it somehow like stayed hidden. Now, do you think somehow Magneto and Mystique? Okay, no, Magneto can just tell that the metal is in him. Right, Anna Paquin was in the piano, very young. I never saw it, but too much iron in your blood. This is the greatest scene in Marvel history. Too much iron in your blood. Oh, this is fucking great. Oh, is that blood coming out of him too? It's gotta be, right? Yeah, so this guy's dead. That guy's dead, right? Like that guy just died. Yeah, he's dead. So good. And then he uses them to fucking kill everyone else. How awesome is that? I did know that. The X Mansion was used as the Luthor Mansion in Smallville. I did know that. That's awesome. Magneto's standing on one plate as the two other ones are around him. Does it get better than that? And then him smiling as he's coming closer to the door. Come on, dude. You know. Okay, so here's the part where he came out to his parents that he's a mutant. Um, it's it, it's kind of like it's kind of like somebody coming out as gay to their parents. I like the way this comes this comes out. He's an art professor. You should see what Bobby can do. This is a great moment. He turns her tea into ice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys might know this. Is the actor that plays Bobby's younger brother, is he the same kid from Final Destination 2? The kid that goes to the dentist? And the one who has the fucking glass plate fall on him? And there's his brother. He's gonna fucking call the cops on his own brother, you piece of shit. No, it's a different actor? Oh, okay. I thought he looked familiar, and I was trying to think about, like, who does he look like? Maybe all these white teenage kids look alike. I don't fucking know. So Storm and Jean have left Boston. Logan was not able to get in contact with them, I guess. Right? Um, See, like, I don't mind the black leather costume, especially because, like, clearly Storm's leather outfit has a cape. It at least looks different. But imagine if it was white. That actor's name is Noel Fish. Oh, okay. One for every sin. So, like, what, he's committed a lot of sins, or? It's so weird to hear them say that they're school teachers, because, like, technically they are. But I never really thought of the X-Men as school teachers. Like, in the cartoons, I never really thought about it. You know, the idea of Wolverine teaching a class of kids is hilarious to me. Although I'm not sure if Wolverine ever really became a teacher. I know at the end of Days of Future Past, Xavier tells him you're late to your class. So I guess technically he did become a teacher, a real teacher. Whoa, is Nightcrawler hitting on Storm? Someone so beautiful shouldn't be so angry. I do like this scene though. Man, it's like not only is Nightcrawler wearing all that makeup and the markings, but he also has the yellow contact. It's like fuck. I I definitely get Alan Cumming probably saying like fuck. Why did I agree to do this? Have you tried not being a mutant? How many kids who came out to their parents probably heard, "Have you tried not being gay?" You know, like it's such a great. I think that's why the X Men works and has been working for so long, is that you know, for people who don't want to use that allegory or that connection, they don't have to. But for people who, oh, you see police in the backyard, but then you know, for people who do see the connection, who do see the allegory, who do see even besides like gay, like let's talk about race, let's talk about being discriminated against, all of that's there too. Why would the cops burst the windows? Can the cops just break into your house like that? I don't think they can, right? Oh, Wolverine shot in the head. That's pretty excessive, isn't it? I mean, I know he had knives on his hands, but fuck, he didn't do anything. You even see blood coming out of his head. I'm the worst one. Oh, I love this moment. Pyro goes ape shit. Pyro, this is Pyro showing he has a dark side. He definitely likes the Sith side for sure. Pyro would be easily corrupted by Palpatine. Pyro saves them? I don't know, because you could argue that all that Pyro is doing is making mutant perception worse, right? And I love this. Rogue taking away his powers. And then she also uses his powers to take away the fire. Because the first movie, she did use her powers to heal herself. Like she used Wolverine's powers, I should say, to heal herself. but you didn't get more of her using other people's powers. So there, you got to see it, though. The idea of Rogue using another mutant's powers is a very cool idea. We strangely didn't get enough of it, though, in the movies, right? Um, and I love that he just gets up. Even Pyro's looking at him like, what the fuck? Because they probably thought he was dead, right? They probably thought he was fucking gone. And I love that the cop sees him and says, what the fuck? Such a good moment. Here's Bobby leaving his family for good. His mom clutching the brother shows that they do not love Bobby anymore. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. I do like the fact that Wolverine at least can get shot in the head and still feel the impact. He can still be affected, but it won't kill him. But he'll at least save it. That was fucked up, Wolverine. Come on. Wolverine was not interested in hearing Nightcrawler's speech at all. That was fucked up. Xavier is standing, and for a moment he's crying. He's happy to be standing. And then he realizes it's fake. There you go. The mother played Maggie Sawyer on Smallville? Really? The Incredible Nightcrawler? Save it. Save it, bub. He didn't say bub there, but, that would have been cool. Okay. So Stryker's son was trying stuff out to see if he could trick Xavier, right? So the whole image of him standing didn't work. So now he's using the illusion of, here's a young mutant kid, and that's Xavier's weakness, wanting to help young mutants. That will be the death of him, or that will be the downfall of Xavier. So that actually, it's great. Makes a lot of sense. So by the time you get to X-Men 3 and X-Men Origins Wolverine, and hell, you can even argue by the time you get to Hugh Jackman in The Wolverine and Days of Future Past, like the later X-Men movies, he would take a bullet to the head and just fucking take it, right? In X-Men Origins Wolverine, when he first gets the Weapon X and he bursts from the water, Agent Zero shoots him in the head and he just fucking takes it. He doesn't go down. He doesn't get knocked out. He just takes it and Cutland looks right back at him. And I think that Wolverine's a little too OP. That Wolverine's a little too overpowered. I like the fact that in here he can be hurt by a bullet, just not killed. Oh, how did the cops find the jet? That's a good question. And I thought, didn't the first movie, the jet was able to go invisible, or at least do the same thing that the helicarrier does in the Avengers, where it makes itself look invisible? Why didn't they do that to this jet when they left? So why didn't this jet make itself invisible when they left? Although this moment of Storm fucking with the weather is very cool. I mean, I guess Bryan Singer just figured that they just needed a moment that was sort of intense, right? Have them be in danger for a little bit. Now, doesn't something happen here where Rogue flies out of the jet? There's a missile. 2 missiles. I forget how she goes out. Okay, Jean is able to stop one, but she can't stop the second one, right? Oh, there's the fire eyes! The Phoenix eyes! Okay, first missile blows up. She can't do the second one. She can't do it. Okay, the back of it. The back of it blows out. And there goes Rogue! And I think Nightcrawler just on his own, right? Yeah, he grabs her. Boom! That was awesome. Dude, that was fucking awesome. Nightcrawler just bamfing out. Bamf! Anytime Nightcrawler would do that in the comic books, it would literally say bamf. Because I guess that's a sound, right? Bamf! So I guess that's what it's called when he does that. Bamf. And I think for anybody who didn't know who Nightcrawler was, that's a good way to prove yourself. Oh, that wasn't Jean. That was Magneto, right? At first, I thought Jean was the one who closed the hole, but it was Magneto. There he is. Good thing Magneto and Mystique happened to just be in the woods. When will these people learn how to fly? That's a good line. Is it a good line, or is Ian McKellen just that good at delivering it that it sounds like a good line because he said it? All right, there's Nightcrawler, and Rogue's about to thank him, right? Bitte What does that mean? You're welcome? I'm guessing. I could take a closer look. I love the accent. Alan Cummings is good, man. It sucks that he didn't come back. Just the way he talks, it's like, that's Nightcrawler. I buy it 110%. As decent, I will say decent, as the newer actor that played Nightcrawler in the newer movies, he's okay, but nowhere near as good as Alan Cummings was. The German accent, exactly. Oops. How would Stryker know how to find Cerebro? Oops. Magneto's like, let's not bring that up. I helped Charles build it. If only First Class remembered that. It would be nice if First Class remembered that Magneto built that with him, because they didn't adhere to that, did they? What does that mean? Oh, right, because Wolverine knows Stryker. Right. Oh, so Magneto knew that Stryker um, not created adamantium, because he found it in like Africa, right? But he could manipulate it. The way Mystique looks at Wolverine is kind of creepy. Although we see later on that Mystique just wants to fuck Wolverine. Which I gotta be honest. And I love that Mystique still has the 3 claw marks from the first movie. Great attention to detail. And Jean Grey trying to access Nightcrawler's memories. Very cool. There's a facility. He got the drip on him. Alkali Lake, and Wolverine's like, fuck, I was just there. It just sucks because it was so easy to or I shouldn't say it was so easy because I'm not writing these movies, but it feels like it was so easy to just remember certain things. Remember the fact that Magneto and, and Xavier are supposed to create Cerebro. It would have been great to see that in First Class, but the fact that they just get Cerebro from Beast is just like, all right, it's just like why couldn't we just do it the other way? Um, I will say that Wolverine, he's clearly hitting on Jean right here. I do like that he's not as aggressive as he was in the first movie. He's a little aggressive. I love him. There you go. Good. Yes, she does. She said yes. Girls flirt with the dangerous guy. They don't take him home. They marry the good guy. Oh, okay, that's fucked up. He's kissing her, and she's kissing him back. No, she's kissing him back. She put her hand on his face. She's saying, please, don't make me do this. Cheat on her husband. Don't make me do this. So she's saying she wants to do it. She's saying, almost saying that she's willing to do it, but she doesn't, like, she wants to, but she doesn't want to. It's the classic, like, your mouth says no, but you really, and I don't even want to use that phrase because that sounds very wrong. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like, she wants to, and if Wolverine kept kissing her, she would do it. But she knows she would feel like shit, so she's asking him, "Don't make me, do something I'll regret." Um, Actually, really good acting from Famke Janssen because I should hate her, right? But the way how she, acted, saying like, "Don't make me do this," I buy that she's attracted to him, but she just doesn't want to. Like it's very hard to pull that off. Oh, and look at, of course, Mystique was watching them the whole time. So at first you're watching this and you're going like, "Oh, Jean, no, you just said you didn't want to." And if this was really Jean, you'd be like, "You bitch." There's the claw marks, and that's how Wolverine knows it's not her. And she turns into Mystique. Mystique wants to fuck him. You know what I want? Your dick. She's licking his ear. But what do you want? She turns into Storm. She turns into Rogue. She turns into, who is that? Is that is that Jean again? Who is that? Ew. She just turned into Stryker. What the fuck? Is Mystique trying to see if he's gay? She's like, "Hey, if you're gay, I'll be a guy for you, Wolverine." Like, what the fuck was that? Damn, Mystique was really trying to get laid, huh? Kind of fucked up that she turned into Rogue. Like, "Hey, Wolverine, do you like underage girls? Because I'll be that for you." Like, what the fuck? "I love what you've done with your hair," because he did that to her, and she took off her gloves. She wanted to kill him. Oh, that's great. That's a great moment. I'm glad they did that. See, that's attention to detail. You know, if Brett Ratner directed this, they would have had no interaction. They never would have acknowledged what he did to her in the first movie. At least Bryan Singer put that scene in there. That's a dorky looking helmet. And I like that, for anybody that thinks that Magneto's helmet is dorky looking, I love the purpose of it though is to keep Xavier out of his head. It's a very good explanation for why he wears it. And this is the moment where Magneto, quite a talent you have there, Pyro. This is the moment where he sort of Palpatines him, you know. How is it that just only like 2 or 3 scenes and they set up the bad guy luring a young teenager away from the good side so much better than 3 fucking Star Wars prequel movies did? You know what I mean? Clearly, it's not that hard to do if you just, yeah, like it's not that hard. Fucking, I wouldn't say that Magneto unknowingly brought Pyro to his side. I think Magneto knew what he was doing. I think he purposely asked him what his real name was, and when I say real name, he means his mutant name. He complimented Pyro on his mutant ability. He was buttering him up to. He knew he wanted Pyro to make the jump. You could argue that Magneto isn't a bad guy. You could. I mean, the first movie, I would argue that Magneto was a piece of shit for trying to sacrifice Rogue where he should have sacrificed himself if he believed so much in his cause. He was being a coward by making Rogue do it. But as far as his ideology, yes, I agree that Magneto's ideology, his reason for hating humans, is very reasonable, very understanding, very sympathetic. Magneto is one of the best Marvel villains because of that. He would have died if he did it himself. Right. So if he believed in his cause, he should be willing to die for it. You can't say, oh, well, he didn't want himself to die, but he was willing to kill a 15-year-old girl? You know what I mean? Like, that is what makes Magneto a villain. Is him being willing to kill Rogue to do his bidding. That's where the villain part comes in. But his initial plan of wanting to turn humans into mutants so that they could feel what they feel and know what it feels like that makes sense. But the moment when he says, I'm not willing to die for that, I'll let this little girl die for that, that's where you go like, all right, Magneto's going too far. So that's why Magneto is a good villain, though, because there are aspects to his, um, you know, his backstory or his way of thinking that makes sense, but then he takes the next step too far, right? And I don't know how Stryker. I don't know how Stryker knew that that was Mystique, but I actually like that he could tell. I don't know how. He knows Wolverine very well, I guess. And I love her giving the finger. Oh, that's great. That's such good shit. That's a good moment. It could be anybody, and it was her. Brian Cox blowing a kiss and waving at them because it's really Mystique is hilarious. Oh, you're saying Wolverine? No, I don't. I don't think that that's how he knew because Stryker saw them cuff him. It wasn't until he looked at her eyes that he knew. I mean, maybe you're right, but it felt like he could just tell by looking at. There was just something about the way Mystique Wolverine looked at him that he knew it wasn't really him. He smiled. Oh, is that what it was? So she, yeah, she did have like a smirk, And maybe that, like, he caught that. But it was very subtle, you know? It was very subtle. And I mentioned earlier about how some people are upset that these early X-Men movies aren't as comic booky. They don't wear their comic book looks. At least the MCU, the way how the MCU can do this different. Oh, she smiled. Really? You think so? Oh. Well, yeah, like, it looked like he looked at her and then she smiled. So it did look like he caught it for. I don't know. I don't know, though. I don't know. You'd have to, like, ask Bryan Singer, and I don't think anybody wants to talk to Bryan Singer nowadays. So there's that. Is that Magneto? It is. It is Magneto. And then fucking Jean Grey thrown. That's cool. Magneto working with the X-Men is a very cool idea. I know that in the more recent comics, Magneto has been a member of the X-Men. But when we're talking about, like, 2003 and Magneto is still clearly a villain, them working together almost reluctantly is a very cool idea. Um, what was that? Hold on. What's wrong with Bryan Singer? Oh, you don't know, Ty? You don't know what Bryan Singer did? There's a reason why Bryan Singer was fired from the Bohemian Rhapsody. Uh, oh no, yeah, Magneto's definitely only working with them to get to Cerebro so that he could eventually try to kill humans. Magneto definitely has ulterior motives, but even the X-Men working with Magneto, it's something very cool about seeing that. But yeah, Bryan Singer was fired from Bohemian Rhapsody because there were allegations of him doing inappropriate stuff with young boys. Let's put it that way. Uh, and when I say allegations, it's all but pretty much confirmed that he was doing some shady shit and that people knew about it. He was having pool parties and underage boys were there, and it was just something that he did a lot, I guess. Obviously, I didn't know until way later. All of the mutants everywhere. Find all of the mutants. Yeah, that is pretty sick. Yeah, I know. It sucks because I love his X-Men movies, at least these early ones. Apocalypse, but he at least made 3 really great X-Men movies. Um, and he co-wrote X-Men First Class and produced it, so I don't fully credit him for First Class, but he was definitely a part of why that movie's good. So for a while, Bryan Singer was very good with the X-Men franchise. So it's hard to compliment. You know, it's almost like that director of Jeepers Creepers, Victor Salva, right? Like, I like the first Jeepers Creepers movie, but then I think about who directed it, and it's like, I can't really compliment the director. Can you separate the man from his actions, or can you separate his work from his actions? Not everybody can. Wow. And Jean Grey just saved Magneto and Mystique. So clearly Magneto knows that Cyclops and Jean are married. I love, though, that Jean sensed Cyclops. And, oh yeah, I forgot that they took Cyclops and mind controlled him. I forgot all about that. Is that Jubilee? Jubilee was one of the kids kidnapped? Wow, so Jubilee is in this movie. Played by a different actress, of course. I mean, at least she's Asian. But every movie, Jubilee's played by a different fucking actress. They couldn't bring back the same actress to play Jubilee for anything. Right? Like, what the fuck? Jubilee, possibly the most underused character in the X-Men films. Jean is trying to fight Cyclops' lasers. Her eyes are fiery. I think I forgot how often you saw her eyes go Dark Phoenix fire like that. Oh, Roman Polanski? Oh, don't get me started on that fucker. Yeah. Controversial, to say the least. Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. I don't mind saying that out loud. Oh, and so Cyclops' lasers just fucking cut cracks into Alkali Lake. Oh shit. Is that Jean? Damn, Jean got fucked up, huh? Is her leg broken? Yeah, you thought you lost him because you were making out with Wolverine. I love you so much. I think Wolverine says to Scott at the end of this movie that she chose you, which, well, yeah, she chose him when she married him, but I get what he's saying. Jean was presented with being with Logan over Scott, and she wanted to stay faithful to Scott. And Wolverine made sure Scott knew that. I do get the sentiment behind it. It kind of makes, if Hugh Jackman wasn't so damn likable, you would think Logan's a piece of shit, right? Logan's kind of an asshole for aggressively pursuing a married woman like that. I never really cared for that. Good, so she's not a whore. She's not a whore. It's very important that Cyclops knew that when Jean died, she was not a whore, right? Like, what if Cyclops found out that, oh yeah, we totally banged before, like she totally cheated on you right before we came and saved you? That'd be fucked up, right? That'd be pretty conflicting thoughts there. Oh, there's claw marks, Wolverine claw marks on the walls. This is where he was created. This room looks very different from X-Men Origins Wolverine. See, it's the same studio, Fox. They couldn't even recreate this room when they did X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'm pretty sure in X-Men Origins Wolverine there was like a railing, another level of people. That's not here, right? It's only one floor. There's the adamantium. They have to keep it hot because otherwise it would harden in seconds. And they inject it into him, which is not how they do it in X-Men Origins. I hate to keep bringing up X-Men Origins Wolverine, but like, I can't stress enough how much better his origin is handled through these flashbacks. Even him running out covered in blood and he's in pain. Like, just that one shot of Wolverine covered in blood is way better than anything they do in X-Men Origins Wolverine. You know what I mean? Like, just that one quick shot. I wonder what Bryan Singer thought if he ever watched X-Men Origins, and if he was like, oh. Mind you, as he's sleeping with underage kids. But, so, I used to think you were one of a kind, Wolverine. That was wrong. That's a great line. I was wrong. And then he just looks at Lady Deathstrike. And then she just fucking goes ape shit. Man. Oh, and there's the claws. Holy shit. Nice. And her spinning around. I remember the first time I saw this, I watched it with a bunch of my friends. And I remember saying, holy shit, this is brutal. Like, I shouldn't think that Wolverine could die, but I was sitting here thinking he's going to die. Or, like, how is he going to beat this girl? You know? And, like, maybe that was just me being a young, naive teenager, right? Like, not... But I just thought the fight was played up so well. This moment of her face healing and you realizing that she's just like him is fucking awesome. The creepy smile, Wolverine, he doesn't even say anything. He just is shocked. And then her climbing up him. Oh, so good. The score. The score is great, man. Score sounds like a horror movie. Oh, stab, 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 stab in his back. She is stabbing the fuck out of him, dude. She stabs his neck. She's stabbing his back over and over again. And then she falls in the tank. And she's not done. She's gonna come back. Oh, we cut away to the kids. Okay. Pyro's leaving. I'm sick of this kids' table shit. You always do what you're told. This is his Anakin moment. I mean, granted, he doesn't kill little kids. He doesn't kill younglings, but he does switch sides. All right, now we cut back to Wolverine. Oh, and there she is. She's like Jason, coming out of the water. Da, da, da. And then the look of pain on Wolverine's face is so believable. And he just injected her with more adamantium. And wow, he put a lot into her. And there you go. Her eyes just went brown. And she's looking at him. Oh, and they're coming out of her mouth and eyes. And nose. I wonder if Wolverine's just now realizing that, like, that wasn't her. That wasn't really her. And then the noise, the clink, the metal clink of her head hitting fuck. I mean, I guess technically that's a way to kill Wolverine, right? You just inject him with more adamantium and it fills up like all of his blood. I assume her blood just turned into adamantium, right? And just killed her. So I guess you could kill Wolverine that way, I guess. But man, I always thought that was sad. You know, I always thought that was a... Again, we don't get a lot of Lady Deathstrike. You know, I'm not saying I'm hugely connected to her, but it's a subtle moment of, like, it makes you wonder, what was her backstory? How did Stryker get a hold of her? You know, how long had he been controlling her? What would she have done if they were able to wake her up? You know? We'll never know. Mutants, kill them all. I love that Magneto's not being affected because of the helmet. Even Wolverine. So actually, this could kill Wolverine too. So Magneto is the only person that could save. Of course, Stryker is sneaking out. There's Pyro. There's Rogue and Bobby holding hands. We're gonna die as a couple together. Oh, he can't break through? Can he not break through? Oh, Xavier just woke up. Oh, and then the little girl's getting scared. I like that the little girl represents Stryker's son, right? Like it's like her getting scared is what the son is really feeling, even though the son doesn't react. But clearly that's what the son is feeling in his head. And she represents that. He just looks over like that. Creepy. Points to his helmet. Nice. This movie's so good, man. This movie's so good. I love that it still holds up. It would have broke my heart if, like, I mean, obviously I've seen this movie a bunch of times since then, but it would have sucked if, like, I rewatched it years later and it didn't hold up, or if I didn't like it as much. But this is still fucking very good. I don't know. This might be the best X-Men movie. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Magneto moving the metal plates of Cerebro. I don't even know what he's doing. Like, I don't know what the purpose is of him changing that is or what that does, but it just looks cool, doesn't it? And then Mystique is going to turn it into Stryker. Tell the Sun to. There's been a change of plan. Whispering. Indistinct. I love the captions. Always have to explain the whisper, even if you can't hear it. Stryker is very good at playing the Mystique version of himself, or Brian Cox, I should say, is very good at playing the like that's a good actor, you know. Like you could tell it's not really Stryker just through him. Damn, is it me or when they show Mystique's ass, it's just like, damn, Wolverine turned that down? I know she's blue. I know she's a mutant. I know I probably shouldn't be attracted, but I'm just like. And here's another question: is Magneto hitting that? Is Magneto hooking up with Mystique? I'm talking about this Magneto, right? Because I know that Michael Fassbender, I could buy that Michael Fassbender is sleeping with Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique, but is Ian McKellen's Magneto sleeping with Rebecca Romijn? How does that feel, bub? He says bub again. He's definitely piping her. Jeez. That's another way to put it. Who am I? You're just a failed experiment. Oh, fucked up. Imagine trying to find out your past and, like, Magneto probably did hit Rebecca Romijn mistake. I love hearing him say bub too. I love it. I love it. I love it. I would argue that Wolverine did not, or Hugh Jackman didn't say bub enough. Not his fault, but the later movies, he didn't say bub as much, and I wish he did. Um, Stryker telling him that, like, you were just a horrible human being. Actually, not human being, because Wolverine was always a mutant, but, like, you did some terrible things. I just gave you claws, right? Like, I love that idea. Again, way better said than showed, because in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't at all. He was the complete opposite of being a bad guy. Um, the idea that he was a bad person, or at least a person out there doing fucked up things, killing people, or being a mercenary, and because he lost his memory, um, that's what turned him into a good person. That's such a better idea than the whole, like, oh, he was always just a good guy. So, like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, imagine having some complexity. Imagine if you did do X-Men Origins Wolverine, but, like, the first hour, Hugh Jackman is playing a piece of shit. Or he's playing, like, a really fucked up dude who does not mind killing, who is all about it. Or who's like, I don't give a shit. You know, maybe he doesn't have to be evil, but he could just not care. He could just kill people for the fuck of it. And then he loses his memory, and then that's when he's like, you know what I mean? I just felt like that's how I always read Wolverine's history to be from this, but then Origins completely changes all of that. Um, right, Ian McKellen is gay in real life, so that's the only reason why I don't know for sure if his Magneto is sleeping with Mystique. Not because the actor being gay makes the character Magneto gay, but, like, I don't really see. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm seeing attraction between them. Like, I don't know if when this Magneto looks at Mystique, I don't know if I don't know. What, you never knew that Ian McKellen was gay? Where have you been, Ty? I feel like every interview with Ian McKellen, he talks about being gay. He's been out for a while. Ugh. He's very open about his gayness. And good on him. Don't believe anything you see in there. I like that line. Our Father, for art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. I don't know any of this shit. I'm reading the subtitles. I don't know that. Under a rock? Oh, now this moment's creepy too. They go in there. You don't even see Xavier. You just see the little girl. This is creepy. This is like Insidious. That's true. That's true. This Magneto never hits on the guy. No, no. I don't think Ian McKellen's Magneto is gay. I'm only just I'm only, but he never really openly flirts with Mystique either, though, right? Like, you don't see them kiss, or you don't see them. They just kind of, like, smile at each other and give each other looks, but it always seems more like, ooh, we're evil, we're mischievous, we're up to no good type looks, not like, hey, you want to fuck later? But when you look at Mystique, and she's clearly naked, and she's hot, and she can make herself look like anybody, uh, how would you not be tapping at, right? If Mystique's down, it's like, fuck, yeah, let's do it. And clearly, based off of the Wolverine scene, Mystique is willing to look like anyone you want. Oh, Ian McKellen doesn't hit on other guys. You're saying, well, right, like, he doesn't do interviews where he's openly flirting with male interviewers, right? No, definitely. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, he he openly talks about um I love this moment. This is like Storm's one big moment. Her trying to out freeze the little girl. Storm has a decent amount of scenes, but this is the only moment. Well, not the only moment. Storm does create the hurricanes in the jet chase, right? But this moment's probably her coolest scene. Get it cool, huh? Because she's freezing the girl. Even the shot of the sun getting cold is great. And the little girl, this little girl is a good actress. He's going to be so angry at me. That little girl doesn't have a lot of scenes, but the little moments with her, she's very good. Her freaking out there, she's not even real. All right, they woke up. They woke Xavier up. Alkali Lake is breaking apart. Logan. Of course, Jean is thinking about where Logan is. Oh, he bamfed Storm out of there. He bamfs Xavier out of there. Xavier just lost his chair, though. Hopefully, Xavier has more than one chair. Right? Here comes the tidal wave. They got locked in. Oh well, no, he stopped the water from coming at them. Smart. I still think we could have saved Cyclops. As little as Cyclops had to do in the first two movies, when Jean dies, I know James Marsden left or he went to do Superman Returns, so that's why he's barely in X-Men 3. But if Cyclops was able to be in X-Men 3 for more, they probably wouldn't have done more with him, but it would have been nice to get more with Cyclops in the Phoenix story and have him actually like be a leader to the group, you know. It's a shame that we never really got Cyclops being a leader. Superman Returns isn't even good. It's not, but he wanted to go with Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer didn't do X-Men 3 because he went to go do Superman Returns. And James Marsden was like, I'll go with Bryan Singer. And I think James Marsden said, you'll get a bigger part in Superman Returns, at least bigger than what he had been doing as Cyclops. I don't know what they would have done with Cyclops in X-Men 3. I don't trust a Brett Ratner or whoever wrote X-Men 3 to do more with him. Clearly, these movies were more Wolverine-centric. Clearly, Wolverine was the focus on being the main hero. Although, the MCU and the Avengers have shown that you can have Captain America and Iron Man both be prominent figures in the same movie. So you could have had Wolverine and Cyclops be leaders, or Wolverine be prominent while Cyclops is the leader of the team. You could have done it. You could have done it. Brandon Routh did a good job. Yeah, he did. I don't mind Brandon Routh as Superman. I just don't love the movie, right? And I was very jazzed to see him back in the Crisis crossover. I like that. I'll take my chances with the kid. Oh, that's the same kid with the weird tongue. So I like that. Wolverine leaving his past behind. He doesn't need to know more than that, you know? He's like, I'm telling you. And that choice would mean a lot more because it's like if he was really a bad guy in his past life, but now he's choosing to be with the X-Men, he's choosing to be good. Like I just feel like that's more of a strong character arc. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame what they did with Origins. He's with Magneto. I like Wolverine's reaction of being disappointed, but it's like disappointed that Pyro went with Magneto. How do you guys feel about the fact that in the movies, Jean Grey always had the Dark Phoenix inside of her, and it just came out after she died, as opposed to the Phoenix being an alien in space that possesses her and takes her over? I mean, are you okay with this change? Would you have preferred maybe not an alien, but even if it was like the idea of her being possessed by something, would you have preferred that? Are you okay with the fact that it was always inside of her all along? And apparently Xavier suppressed that side of her? I don't know if I like that. I never really liked the idea that Xavier suppressed her. Um, but once again, given the time that this movie came out, I understand why they changed the way she becomes Phoenix. Yeah. I'm okay with it being inside of her the whole time. I just don't like the idea that Xavier suppressed her like memories of it or suppressed her since she was a child. I don't like that aspect of it, but everything else I'm okay with. And I'm pretty sure Stryker just died there. He was chained up to the wall and I assume he drowned, so Stryker, great character, great actor, Brian Cox to play him. And I would argue we never see a Stryker that good or interesting again. Yeah. It's a shame that they didn't bring back Brian Cox either. Right? Like, if you're going to do X-Men Origins Wolverine, why not just bring Brian Cox back? Jean talking to them through Xavier is kind of weird. Because it's Patrick Stewart, like, saying Jean's lines to Scott. Like, imagine if Jean tried to kiss him through Xavier. Come here. One last kiss. She's on fire. And then she just let the water engulf her. She let the ship go up and then she's gone. James Marsden, best acting that he's able to do. He doesn't get a lot to do, but him breaking down over Jean's death is a very good scene for him. And Hugh Jackman's delivery of "she's gone," he's trying to hold it together because Cyclops is losing it, so he's trying to stay strong. But like inside, he wants to bawl and cry too, but he's holding it in. Such a good performance. Um, I like that Nightcrawler is the religious one of the group, so he goes right to that. I do like that for his character. Makes sense. Um, you know what sucks is that like every time I watch X2, I always think, what a good setup for Jean becoming the Phoenix. But I always know that it gets ruined. You know, like it never. It's like I know what's next, and I always think about what could have been. You know, if Bryan Singer didn't do Superman Returns, and if he did X-Men 3 instead, I heard that Bryan Singer's X-Men 3 was supposed to only be about the Dark Phoenix, and I think he wanted the Hellfire Club. I think that was supposed to be the two things. So the whole cure shit, the whole Magneto and the Brotherhood, the war thing, I don't think that was a part of it. Um, I think Bryan Singer was going to do or would have done Phoenix and Hellfire Club. That's what I remember reading. And I mean, I think that would have been a much better movie. Oh, everyone's frozen except for the president. Hey, hello there, music lover. I do like this moment of Xavier freezing the White House or freezing everybody at the White House. Bryan Singer's X-Men 3 would have been better for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Even if it wasn't great, even if it wasn't better than X2, even if it couldn't top X2, it still would have been better than what we got. X2, yeah, I would say, I mean, it's hard to argue that X2 is the best X-Men movie. It's really hard to argue that. I love that the president sees Nightcrawler and freaks out. And I like Rogue almost officially being part of the team. She's wearing the black leather outfit. It's just too bad that she's barely there for X-Men 3. She's not really a part of the team in X-Men 3. So it sucks, right? It sucks. Rogue should have been there. I don't mind Ellen Page as Kitty Pryde. I don't mind Kitty Pryde being there. I don't even mind the whole potential love triangle of Bobby hanging out with Kitty Pryde and stuff, but I don't like Rogue. Uh, the only thing Rogue does in X-Men 3 is just like want the cure, and then she goes and gets the cure. She's not a part of the final fight. She's not a part of the war. She's never really a part of the X-Men battle. And I like how when Xavier says that we have suffered loss on both sides, I love that they cut to Cyclops and he's clearly upset, but he's holding it together. And like it sucks because like you could have had a Cyclops that was dealing with a lot. You know, that like in the third movie he's struggling, but he still is strong enough to be the leader. I hate that instead he's still broken up, which again, it's fine that he's broken up, but he basically just gives up. You know, he leaves the school, he leaves the students, he doesn't care about any of that. He's just completely irresponsible, and then he goes and gets himself killed. It's like, you know, there's nothing about Cyclops that looks like a leader in the third movie. He could have struggled with Jean's death, but still, you know, it would have been hard for him, but he should have still been the leader. That's what I think. So, does the president accept Xavier's, you know, yeah, okay, this is the scene where Wolverine's hair is fucking intense. Look how big it is. Wolverine's hair is so fucking big. Because Hugh Jackman, they had to. This was a reshoot, so he's clearly wearing a different wig. Um, it's funny to think about Wolverine like in the mirror doing his hair up to look like that, right? Like he's putting product in his hair so that it looks pointy like that. Russell Crowe auditioned for Wolverine only to turn it down. He recommend is that I don't know if that's true because I'm pretty sure he was filming Van Helsing at the time. Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool. I don't know about that because Doug Ray Scott was cast as Wolverine, and I doubt Russell Crowe would have to audition to play Wolverine. Didn't Russell Crowe do Gladiator at the same time that the first X-Men was being done? Um, there's Jubilee again. I'm pretty sure that's a different actress. That's not the same actress from the first movie that played Jubilee, right? But yeah, Doug Ray Scott was cast as Wolverine in the first film, and then Mission Impossible 2 went 2 weeks over time, so he couldn't do the movie. And Bryan Singer found Hugh Jackman on Broadway. That's the story I heard. I never heard. I never heard Russell Crowe. I never heard Russell Crowe recommending Hugh Jackman. I mean, maybe that's true, but I never heard that before. So does Professor X? Well, but Doug Ray Scott was cast. Like he was. They started shooting X-Men 1 with Doug Ray Scott cast as Wolverine. Um, is that Gene narrating? And we're seeing Alkali Lake. We're about to see the fiery phoenix bird. I mean, man, could you not be setting this up any harder? I mean, I love it. I love it. I'm totally there for it. Um, Janet Jackson was considered for Storm. See, music lover, where are you getting all this stuff? I never heard that. I heard that Angela Bassett was considered for Storm, but somebody thought she was too old for the role, which is bullshit. Angela Bassett would have been perfect as Storm. Perfect. But I heard a producer, or I don't know if it was Bryan Singer, somebody was like, no, she's too old. Let's get Halle Berry. If Angela Bassett was Storm, we would have had. She would have killed it. She would have killed it as Storm. Storm would have been a memorable character. She would have had presence. She would have done the accent perfectly. No, she wasn't old. She wasn't old. But you know how producers are, movie producers are. You know, like Angela Bassett was actually probably the perfect age to play Storm at that time. But they wanted younger. You know, they wanted somebody like obviously Halle Berry who was younger. They probably thought like, hey, she has a certain look to her. And when I say a certain look, you know, let's put it this way: Halle Berry is lighter skinned than Angela Bassett, and at that time, that was a thing. with Hollywood. You know, they weren't as quick to cast a darker skinned actor or actress. I know it sucks, and I know like I'm not trying to make this a whole um, race thing, but clearly Holly Berry was chosen for a reason. Um, you know, Holly Berry was kind of one of the go-to black actresses at that time. You know, how many black actresses have been Bond girls? Holly Berry was like the first, right? Was there another black Bond girl before Holly Berry? Um, you know, Grace Jones. Oh, right, right. For Roger Moore, right? Grace Jones was. Although Grace Jones, she always scared me. No, I'm not saying Angela Bassett was like super dark skinned. I'm just saying Holly Berry's lighter skin. And there was a reason why Holly Berry was a very much a working actress. You know. But great movie. Great movie. We're just sitting through the credits right now. There's no after credit scene. Um, I just like to sit through the credits. That's just something I like to do. I like to listen to the score. I like to see the names. I don't even really get to read all the names, but I do like to sort of glance at them and I catch names here and there. Um, great movie. Great movie. Still holds up. Still, I mean, it flew by. Flew by. And I think William Stryker, or more importantly, Brian Cox as William Stryker, is arguably the best. Um, Grace Jones she played a villain. You know what? You might be right there. Grace Jones wasn't necessarily a Bond girl. Grace Jones was a villain. That's a great point. So maybe what I'm saying still holds true. Holly Berry was the first black, because I didn't say the first black actress in a Bond movie. I said first Bond chick, like a love interest for Bond. Um, yeah, that's a good point. Grace Jones was the villain, or was a villain. This score is great. I'm just listening to the score in the credits. John Ottman just fucking killed it. Killed it with the score. So what do we say? Should we make a ruling now? Is X2 the best X-Men movie of all time? Or is there anybody out there that says it's X-Men Days of Future Past? Or is there another X-Men movie that I'm just neglecting that maybe you find to be better? You know, maybe X-Men 1, maybe First Class, or maybe shockingly somebody likes X3. Does anybody like X3? You know, we'll eventually rewatch Days of Future Past, but every time I rewatch X2, I'm like, okay, this is the best one. This is the best one. Do I see any of who? Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt? Do I see them playing Rogue? I mean, they probably could have done a decent job. Um, Logan, right? Well, see, does Logan count as an X movie? I mean, I guess Logan having Xavier and a lot of X-Men references. I guess Logan is technically an X-Men movie. I always thought Logan as a Wolverine movie, but you could argue it's an X-Men movie. It's in the universe. Yeah, you can make the argument that Logan, you know. But if I'm talking about a movie about the X-Men, a movie about the team of X-Men, you know, a movie that represents what the X-Men is as an idea or what it could be on film. I feel like X2 is, you know, it's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. First Class is a big contender for the X-Men First Class. X-Men First Class is a good movie. I remember seeing X-Men First Class in theaters and saying to myself, "Wow, they bounced back from X-Men Origins pretty well." You know, like I remember, I didn't have high hopes. I kind of thought like, "All right, we'll see how this one is," you know, type of thing. I wasn't thrilled over them recasting everybody, but I ended up falling in love with Michael Fassbender. I ended up falling in love with James McAvoy. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was interesting. I think I liked her more in Days of Future Past, but her growing up with Xavier was definitely trippy, but I did think the idea of that was interesting. Obviously doesn't really match, you know, because it's like if they grew up together, why is there never a reference to that in these movies? You know? And you could argue that, oh, well, it was different people that came in and wrote it and decided to switch it up. Bryan Singer co-wrote X-Men First Class. Bryan Singer, who did these first two movies. So why would Bryan Singer create a backstory that contradicts his own movies? It's just weird. It's weird. Even though it's an interesting idea, it's weird. Um, X-Men First Class is when Jennifer Lawrence cared about her acting. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is pretty damn great in Silver Linings Playbook. Silver Linings Playbook is probably Jennifer Lawrence's best acting. She definitely deserved the Oscar for. I still say Silver Linings Playbook is Jennifer Lawrence's best acting. You know, she was still young enough though for First Class to where like it wasn't like she was, and I don't want to say she was stuck up or prima donna about doing these movies later, but she definitely stopped giving a shit for whatever reason, you know? Maybe she too hated, I mean, I know she hated the makeup process, but is that the only reason? You know, after she won her Oscar, did she get to a point where she was like, I'm too big for these movies now? You know? Is it just the makeup? Or is it like, I won the Oscar. I don't need to do these silly, funny book movies anymore, you know? And if it's the second one, then I'm kind of like, fuck you. Um, I hated Mother, though. I hated Mother. I mean, I don't think her acting was bad in Mother, but I just totally did not like Mother. Okay, so Russell Crowe did recommend Hugh Jackman. Okay, that's great. So Russell Crowe turned it down. Then they went to Doug Ray Scott, and then Doug Ray Scott. So we were both right. We were both right. I didn't say you were wrong. I just said I never heard that before. But okay, all right. We can both be right. That's totally cool. So now you have me thinking about what would this be like if Russell Crowe played Wolverine? I mean, I think Russell Crowe could have done a good job, but I don't know if he would have. Would Russell Crowe have been down to do Wolverine for like? There's no way he would have played Wolverine for 17 years, right? There's no way that he would have played Wolverine as long as Hugh Jackman did. I don't want to say he wouldn't have been as good. I'm not sure Russell Crowe could have stayed in the great shape that Hugh Jackman stayed in. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he was being paid to stay in shape, maybe he would. He definitely wouldn't have been as shredded as Hugh Jackman was. But you know, when you see Hugh Jackman in um, X-Men Origins Wolverine and the Wolverine, those two movies, he's fucking like holy shit. Um, Christopher Lee was offered Magneto. Uh, I mean, Ian McKellen's great, and I'm glad Ian McKellen did it. But Christopher Lee might have been pretty good too. You know, like that's not bad. That's a pretty good. It's interesting. It's a very interesting idea. Da-da. They're just playing the score over and over again on the menu, and I'm just listening to it, like not even. Okay, I'm looking at the special features on this Blu-ray, and they have something called Marvel Universe trailers. So of course I'm curious, so I click on it. They have the trailer for X-Men Origins Wolverine, the trailer for the first X-Men, the trailer for X-Men The Last Stand, the trailer for Daredevil, and the trailer for Fantastic Four. And it's crazy that they specifically title this Marvel Universe. I mean, I know Fox also did Fantastic Four and they also did Daredevil. But are they trying to say that this is a universe that's all connected and blah, blah, blah? What do you guys think? Should we watch some of these trailers? I probably won't be on that much longer, but maybe we'll just watch and react to some, because some of these trailers I haven't seen in such a long time. I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of like every once in a while I go on YouTube to look up like old movie trailers for movies that I like. Uh, Marvel Universe trailers. So first let's do the first X-Men. Let's go in order. But maybe they were trying to set up that Daredevil was connected, or maybe they were going to eventually connect them. Who fucking knows? Why would they title this the Marvel Universe trailers? I know 20th Century Fox did all of the movies, but it's so weird to think of like Daredevil being connected to this, like Ben Affleck's Daredevil being connected to this. It doesn't really make sense. They don't mention mutants at all. It actually doesn't work at all. To not even reference. I do remember. Isn't that a deleted scene though? That wasn't in the actual movie. It was a deleted scene of when Mr. Fantastic makes his face look like Hugh Jackman. Uh, Mind you, they don't say mutants in the Fantastic Four movie, but he definitely looked like Hugh Jackman when he made his face look like that. Now I don't know how his abilities made himself grow facial hair, right? I know it was clearly just a gag. It's so weird how this trailer is cut. Like, it's just like generic techno music, and then they show the name of the mutants, and then they just show them really quick. They even name Sabretooth, Mystique, Toad. Can you imagine watching this trailer, not knowing who the X-Men not knowing who the X-Men is, and you're seeing this trailer and you're like, Sabretooth, Toad, this looks stupid. You know what I mean? Like, those names mean nothing unless you know who they are. The trailer does make it seem like there's a lot of action in it. But they don't really talk plot. They don't really tell you what the movie's about. Interesting trailer. Clearly, trailers in the year 2000 were different. July 14th. July 14th is when X-Men 1 came out. Interesting. I would argue that trailer actually makes that first X-Men movie kind of look whatever, right? Like, it doesn't look like anything special. I mean, I'm glad that it did as well as it did, because these movies helped us get to the MCU eventually. If the first X-Men movie bombs, then we're fucked, and we probably don't get the MCU as we know it. Who knows if... I mean, maybe we still get Spider-Man, but I don't know. I don't know how much that first X-Men movie impacted Spider-Man or impacted just all this other shit from happening. All right, let's look at the trailer for X-Men The Last Stand, because that will be our next live stream, and I'm going to get shit-faced drunk for this one. We'll figure out what day we're going to do this. All right, you got Mystique handcuffed. You got the Cure. You have Angel there. Cyclops looking into Alkali Lake. Jesus, say that 3 times. There's Kitty Pryde. So, if I'm talking about Ellen Page in the past tense, is it okay for me to say Ellen Page and for me to say she was a woman? Because she's now a man? Like, if I'm talking about her or him in the past tense, is it okay to say he was a woman? Or do I have to even say he, even if I'm talking about that movie or if I'm talking about Juno? Can I say her for it's a slippery slope, isn't it? I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm not even trying to be funny. I really don't know what the rules are. Say they or them. Elliot Page. So even if I'm talking about... So if I'm watching X-Men 3 and I see Kitty Pryde, I have to say Elliot Page. He played Kitty Pryde. I have to say that. I have to say he played Kitty Pryde. Like, that's the rules? I'm genuinely asking. I really want to know. I have to say he is playing Kitty Pryde. I actually, as much as I don't like this movie, the trailer's decent. The trailer for X-Men 3. This is me being completely non-biased, imbiased? Non-biased. How many of these have I had to drink? Shit. It's a good trailer. The movie sucks, but it's a good trailer. And the moment when Wolverine is holding Jean by the face and she says to him, "Please just kill me," that's actually a good trailer moment. I just thought that if you're talking about Elliot Page in the past tense, I thought it was okay to say past tense she, but I guess you can't do that. All right. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue. Okay. All right, let's look at the trailer for X-Men Origins Wolverine. And like, when I see the trailer for X-Men 3, it's like I want to like it. I want to... I want to be like, let me watch it again to see if I'll like it more, and I always end up hating it more. All right, here's the trailer for X-Men Origins. Here's him as a little kid. Here's him in the wars. Wolverine in the wars. That should have been like 45 minutes at least. The idea of Wolverine fighting in like every war throughout history is so interesting. And I feel like it goes by in 5 minutes. Such bullshit. Such bullshit. Is that Silver Fox? His girlfriend that dies, right? Is that her name? Silver Fox? So he chooses the name Wolverine, right? Because the girlfriend says, "Cuckoo, cuckoo, you should be Wolverine," or some stupid shit like that, right? Liev Schreiber does play a good Sabretooth. Victor Creed. Liev Schreiber's, I do not mind him playing. It's Gambit! I know who you are, Gambit. Poor, what the fuck is his name? The actor that played Gambit? What's his name? Tyler? No. Who's the actor that played Gambit? I feel bad for him because I actually liked him as Gambit. It's just Taylor Kitsch. Thank you, thank you. I actually liked the song in the trailer. It's a pretty cool song. That's a cool line. Do you know how to kill me? I'm going to cut your... In the movie, he says, I'm going to cut your goddamn head off. They took out goddamn. See if that works. That's a good line. But they showed a quick shot of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool with the mouth sewn shut and the fucking the Baraka claws, and I do we have to rewatch X-Men Origins Wolverine? Man, that's gonna be brutal. Oh man, I think X-Men Origins Wolverine is a worse movie than X-Men 3, but I get more angry at X-Men 3 if that makes sense. Taylor's not a bad actor. He's not a bad actor. I think he's a good actor. I think he's just had shit luck, you know? X-Men Origins Wolverine. He did Battleship, which, oi, I saw that in theaters, and fuck. I remember one year he had 3 bad movies come out. Battleship, John Carter of Mars, which, man, that was rough. I know some people like that movie. I know some people like John Carter. I only saw it the one time. Maybe I'd like it more if I rewatched it. I just don't really want to rewatch it. I saw it in theaters, and that was kind of enough for me. I thought it was kind of a slog. And then he had another movie that same year, Savages, I think. And that movie wasn't terrible, but it was forgettable. It was John Carter did look a lot like Phantom Menace. Yeah, the CGI I didn't think looked great in John Carter. I think that maybe that was my biggest issue with it. I don't know. All right, let's look at Daredevil. We got 2 more trailers, and then I'll probably end the stream. Hey, that's Joe Pantoliano, whatever the fuck you say. He's got the 2D fire things, like the Crow and like Dark Knight Rises, right? The fire fucking logo. I do not like this music in the trailer. It's very 2003. It's very just like, no, techno-y. And there's Ben Affleck. He's playing the blind guy. Jon Favreau as Foggy. Yes. And then there's Jennifer Gardner. Jennifer Gardner, very beautiful. And I believe, is this the movie where they met? The scene of them fighting in the playground is horrible. Horrible. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. Let the bodies hit the floor. They had drowning pool in this trailer? Holy shit. But it was for like 2 seconds. Colin Farrell as Bullseye. Right, right. Yeah. Um, I mean, the trailer's whatever. I don't know. But I've only seen the theatrical cut of Daredevil once. Because I saw it when it came out, and I remember not liking it. I didn't hate it, but I was definitely like, eh. I remember thinking it was too cheesy. You know, there was a lot of cheeseball moments. And then when I heard about the director's cut, the rated R cut, hot take, I like Colin Farrell as Bullseye. I do too. I don't think that's a real hot take. Are you getting more clues to a shared universe? No, no. There is nothing about that trailer that makes you think, oh, this is connected to X-Men. Although I am thinking about maybe after the X-Men movies, if you guys want. Although I do want to do Jurassic Park live watches before Jurassic World Dominion comes out. But at some point, I do want to rewatch and maybe do live watches of these old Marvel movies, like a Daredevil, like Elektra. Fuck, Elektra. I don't know if I can rewatch Elektra. Elektra's horrible. Elektra Elektra's not worse than Catwoman, but it's more boring than Catwoman. Like Catwoman's awful, but at least it's not boring, right? Like Catwoman is laughably, mesmerizingly bad. Um, Elektra though is so fucking lame and boring and just ugh. You know what I mean? Punisher, yeah, the Blade movies, right? I was thinking about maybe doing some old Marvel movies before the MCU. You know, like because you know for sure it's been a long time since I've seen these movies. Though Ghost Rider. Yeah, it's Fantastic Four 2015. I've only seen that the one time. I don't think I saw that a second time because I hated Fantastic Four 2015. Fan Four Stick, as I like to call it. Fuck. Is that on Disney Plus? Because I don't own Fan Four Stick. I don't own that one. All right, let's quickly watch the trailer for Fantastic Four. This is the 2005 one, right? Let's quickly check that out. There's Victor Von Doom, played by Julian McMahon. I feel like he's the worst part of that movie because I love Doctor Doom as a villain, and he just was not played well at all. You didn't hate Fan Four Stick? You're not the first person I've heard say that. There are some people that actually like Fan Four Stick, and okay, cool. Hey, hey, man, to each their own. Okay, so we're seeing the origin in the trailer. They get hit by the cosmic radiation or whatever. There's the Thing. There's Mr. Fantastic stretching his arms. A young Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. Uh, Jessica Alba, who terrible choice as Sue Storm, but she's just insanely hot. So it's just like whatever, you know. For a while, Jessica Alba was like my number one Hollywood crush. Like the mid 2000s, pretty much during this period. I was all about Jessica Alba. At least the acting of Doctor Doom isn't good, but at least he has the look, right? He has the mask, he has the hood. He looks like Doctor Doom, he just doesn't act like him. Flame on! This is why we need a new Fantastic Four, because I used to love the whole Johnny Flame on thing. You got that big epic trailer music to make this movie look cooler than it really is. Johnny makes the four and fire. That's pretty cool. Maria Menounos. I forget that she's in this movie. Oh, you're hot. Why, thank you. So are you. Chris Evans, man, as much as I like him and prefer him as Steve Rogers, he's really good as Johnny Storm. Chris Evans is he's one of the few actors who have played two different Marvel characters, and he's good at both, right? But all right, yeah, that's all the trailers on this Blu-ray. So that was a little bonus commentary, bonus live reaction, I guess. Is there no other special features here? I mean, there's commentary. There's no deleted scenes. There's no making of featurette. Really? Oh, disc 2. Disc 2. Disc 2 has the history of the X-Men. I used to love watching those when I was younger. And I would buy these, at the time, DVDs. Like the Spider-Man movies. Even the Eric Bana Hulk movie. Like, even those, like, they had featurettes that had the history of the comic book characters. You know? And I remember I used to love watching them to, like, you'd see Stan Lee, you'd see all these comic book writers talk about their history in the comics, and it was just cool. It was very cool. They don't really do that anymore. I mean, hell, people don't really even buy Blu-rays anymore, so that sucks. There's not as much special feature, or not as much need to put special features like that anymore. You're lucky to get maybe the making of behind-the-scenes stuff, but they don't do comic book history shit anymore. You know. So yeah, history of the X-Men, pre-production, production, and post-production. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've watched all of these a long time ago, because I remember all this, including the second Uncanny issue of X-Men. Like, do they, like that comic book is on the Blu-ray? What does that mean? Deleted scenes, so there are deleted scenes. Behind the scenes still gallery and theatrical trailer. Oh. Is it trailers for this movie? Because there's a bunch of trailers here for other movies. And then disc 3 is a digital copy of X2 for portable media players. There's a disc 3 on here? Holy shit! There is a disc 3. It's called a digital copy. Does that go on, like, iTunes or something? I used to do that all the time. I used to always... Yeah, it says iTunes. I used to always put my digital copies. I have so many digital copies on my iTunes of all these random movies. Anyways. Now I'm just rambling, right? The movie's over. You guys are probably done. Well, let's get the fuck out of here. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed X2, X-Men United. Hopefully you watched it with me. or even if you couldn't be here live, if you're watching the live thing after the fact, I hope it was nice. It was fun. I do like doing these live streams. They're pretty fun. It's a good way to talk to. Ryan Reynolds had a good part as Wade Wilson before the change. Oh, absolutely. Ryan Reynolds is definitely he wasn't the problem, and clearly, thankfully, he got a second chance to play Deadpool, the real Deadpool. But we all knew, we saw him at the beginning of X-Men Origins Wolverine, and we said, yeah, he was good, you know. But yeah, all right, guys. Stay tuned for X-Men 3. Holy fuck, that should be fun. Later.